She has to on her camera, right?
My camera is switched on only.
Ma'am, you're not visible to us.
Oh, really? One minute, let me check my settings.
You can try for the videos.
I'm not sure. Everything looks fine here.
Ma'am, maybe the camera flap is an issue?
No, it's not closed.
We'll ask him her to rejoin.
Maybe I'll rejoin.
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
rejoin.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, for me it says the host requires the participants to switch off the camera. For me it says like that. I'm not able to switch it on.
Ma'am, we're checking.
And even
Just a
now I'm
minute,
not
ma'am.
able.
Just a minute. We'll be checking into it.
Yeah, but it's
Yes, I
proceeding.
think yes, now it is flipped. Once again.
Yes, ma'am. You're visible now.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Wishing you all a pleasant evening here. I'm Navya Gupta, and I'm here to introduce someone who's been at the forefront of media literacy and digital education. The digital age has become as convoluted as it has become confusing, and we, the consumers, are following behind, trying to find our way out in a maze of what to believe and why to believe. We are here with an expert talk with Dr. Tamilselvi Natarajan, Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs, Scientific Research and Innovation at Bayan College in Muscat, Oman. Ma'am, with over 19 years of experience in media studies education, has authored and edited multiple books and contributed to national and international publications. Her research interests include media literacy and digital media, leading her to establish a media literacy club at the Bayan College. She has been recognized for her contributions to media literacy education. Beyond her academic roles, Dr. Natarajan is a certified trainer in climate literacy, tree growing, and fact checking. She also engages in environmental communication, photography, and organic farming, reflecting her commitment to sustainability and community engagement. Ma'am is here to help us with this very conversation on navigating the digital age, mastering media literacy, and fact checking skills to help us become better consumers as well as creators of the media. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I hope I'm visible and also audible now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. It is an honor for me to be here today virtually at this important gathering where we are discussing the importance of media literacy and fact-checking skills. In a world where the information is traveling very fast, media literacy is not just a skill anymore. It is actually a necessity. It's just like food and water. Media literacy has become a necessity now. It empowers individuals to critically evaluate the content, differentiate between what are the facts, what is true and what is fake, what is misinformation, and it helps us engage responsibly with the digital spaces. So, as media continues to influence our perceptions, decisions, and even our democracy, fostering a media literacy to ensure that we build an informed and inclusive and resilient society is very, very important. So I look forward to this insightful discussion and meaningful exchanges with all of you. I wish I was present there actually physically. I really miss being there, but hope maybe in future sometime it might, hoping it might happen. So before I begin the session, I want to thank the organizers, especially Ms. Saranya, for giving me this opportunity for me to share my thoughts with all of you. Now, can I share my screen?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. I'll share my entire screen so that I can. Visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. And now the introduction is done, so we'll directly go to the. I prefer this to be very interactive. Of course, it's not possible, it has its own challenges when you're doing it online, but try to be a little interactive. Now, you see a picture here. Is this real or fake?
It's fake.
It's fake. So how did we know it is fake? That we'll be learning today. Yeah, this is fake because this is not clicked in the middle of an air. This was actually true, but this it has half true. It was taken before the flight had taken off. This one. This is how the roaring lion in the iconic MGM intro was filmed. True?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this is how we are misleaded. That's a fake image. This is the real image of a sick lion in Israeli zoo who underwent a scan in 2005. Next. This is a magic tap fountain. Is it real?
Yeah, it's real.
Very good. Maybe because you've gone there, I don't know. This is actually real. This is in Aqualand in Spain. So like this, we have so many data, whether it is relevant to us or irrelevant to us, data keeps flowing to us 24 hours. Data never sleeps. There are 5.9 million Google searches conducted every second, and YouTubers upload 500 hours of video every hour. Facebook users share 1.7 million pieces of content, and TikTok users watch 167 million videos, though in India it is banned. So this is the social media scenario from 2022. So of course now the number will be more, it will not be less. So there are 9 billion estimated searches of Google every day, 500 million of Instagram stories every day, 7,600 tweets per second, and 100 billion messages sent through WhatsApp every day, 1 billion hours of video watched in YouTube, and 1.91 billion of Facebook People use Facebook daily in 2022. So you can imagine the number of data that we are actually navigating. What all of this give us? Of course, it gives us a lot of information. Earlier, we don't know. If we have to search any information, we have to go to the library physically. Research has been made very easy with information. Now, just with the click of computer, with Google, with all the AI tools, we have so much information. So, information is actually part. So, access to reliable information is the lifeblood of a just society and a robust democracy, which is definitely true, and we cannot deny this. So, information is mandatory. Without information, people can neither understand nor effectively respond to the events that shape their lives and world. So, understanding information, understanding changing information landscape is very, very necessary. Now today, the landscape of information has changed widely. It is not the same like how it was 10 years back. Earlier we never had touch screens. Earlier there was not even mobile phones. So it was the computers have advanced. Now then came mobile phones and the cellular phones, and then we have the smartphones now, and then now advanced, and you have to understand the changing information landscape. For that, we have to first understand the source of information. Who are the source of information? Apart from Instagram and from social media, there are other sources of information which we actually encounter. They are family members, they can be our neighbors, friends and relatives sharing or forwarding messages, and it can be information from news and the video posts on social media. It can also be from community leaders. It can be from religious leaders. It can be from radio stations, from television, newspaper, blogs and podcasts. So these are various sources of information. Here now people consume information differently, leading to different behaviors. Now what are the behavioral outcomes of good information versus manipulated information? Now information, when it is good, it empowers us. It helps us make informed decisions. It helps us sharing verified information. When we share the information, we know it is correct. It is not fake. And so we try to build a trust in the society. When we share good information, we believe in the society. Whereas the opposite happens when we share manipulated information. There is disruption and there is chaos. There is panic and violence. These are the behavioral outcomes of manipulated information. What are the motives of sharing false information? It can be a genuine error. Somebody has shared a false information. It doesn't mean that they have to be always wrong. It is not always, they didn't do it wantonly. It can be a mistake. It can be a printing error. It can be a genuine judgmental mistake. It can be an unintentional and wrong attribution. Sometimes it is shared for fun, just to have harmless entertainment or for fun, like how we create memes. And nowadays I have a very interesting example also here. I was doing a research on fact checking the fact checkers, and I just happened to browse through the fact checking websites which debunk fake news in regional language Tamil, and I found out that even a meme was considered to be a fake news, and fact checkers have even debunked that. It was, to my surprise, those websites are even IFCN certified. So yeah, that's for another session. Now we focus on how to navigate this information landscape. And some people do this for publicity, and some to seek attention for a cause, and some do it for monetary benefits, to gain attention out of the economy by monetization. Then some propagate their ideological beliefs, and some have physical motives to serve the political needs like elections and exercising power. The news is shared. Then again, depending on psychological biases, some people share fake news or false information, and also depending on cultural background, family orientation, cultural setting and values. I'll give you examples of all these in the PPT now. But just understand these are the motives for sharing false information. It is always not very bad. Sometimes it can be a genuine mistake too. Fake news is actually a very broad term, it's an umbrella term that covers all these kind of different types of content. So it is a term that contains a variety of false information. Sometimes it can be referred to as misinformation, disinformation, unscientific claims, rumors, false context, imposter content, manipulated content, satire and propaganda. All these come under the term of fake news. Now, it's actually quite impossible for me to, because also due to the time constraint, we cannot go see everything, but I'll try to give maximum examples as possible. But one thing before we go to the next slide, I want to tell you, is about the unscientific claims. Now, for the rest of the information, for misinformation, disinformation, and all these false content, all these, there are techniques to debunk and using scientific Google tools, you can Google input tools, you and other AI tools, you can easily find out whether the information is fake or real. But when it comes to unscientific claims, unless and until you have expert opinion, unless and until you get it, you hear it from the doctor, we will not know what actually is the truth. Now, when you Google about coffee and its harmful effects, or coffee for introduction, one side says yes, keep drinking coffee. Other says don't drink coffee. It will make your skin this, that, and it's bad to your liver, bad to your stomach, and all this. Now, one side they have this. Drink 8 glasses of water a day, or drink 2 liters of water, 2000 milliliter of water a day. And what actually happens now, we as human beings, we know our body is made up in such a way that when we need something, our body will definitely ask for it. Now, when you Google this, of course, you will say yes, you will have many websites which will say this, water is needed for life, it's understood. But is this quantity that is mentioned, 2 liters per day or 8 glasses per day, is this a mandatory amount, and is it scientifically true? Now, when you research for papers, you will get a lot of research papers on this, but you have to read those papers and see most of the information, most of the research conducted is not peer-reviewed journals, or maybe, once again, I think there's some disturbance here. I will just sorry about that. Yeah, so when we talk about unscientific claims like this, the amount of water that we have to drink per day, all these are not scientifically proven. These are from unreferred and not peer-reviewed journals, or the sample size is very less. So we cannot easily say. And there's another thing which says, like, if you drink chamomile tea, it's good for sleep. Right? And now if you research and see, it says it's a placebo effect. It is, drinking chamomile cannot give you a peaceful sleep. Maybe it might add to it, but that's not the cause for good sleep. So like this, there are many unscientific claims, especially now when we open Instagram, it always talks about Korean glass skin. So if we have to have Korean glass skin, we have to be Koreans. And there are so many things which says, have this fat, that fat, this acid, that acid, so many things. So don't believe anything, because it's very, the beauty claims related to unscientific beauty claims especially are increasing, and it's very popular among youngsters. So I thought it is right, this is the right time to say that in this forum. Now, what are the motives for sharing false information? Yeah, this we discussed already, right? What is misinformation? Misinformation is again an umbrella term to describe false, misleading, or out of context materials, regardless of the motivation behind it. It can also be described as a bad information. So if I am sharing this information, I do not know that it is a fake information. I receive an information from my friend, I receive an information from my family, and I believe that to be true, and I share it with my friends. So misinformation can be misleading and out of context, and of course still it is harmful. Maybe the person who shares it will not know that it is fake. Now look at this example. The football ground claims to be from Manipur. Okay? This is a beautiful, they say the beautiful football ground is not in Europe but in Urkhan, Manipur, India. Exceptionally beautiful. But this is the original photo. The original photo is from Russia. It's not from Manipur. So, a person has shared this. Now, if I am receiving this information, then I will truly believe. I might think, okay, this is really Manipur, I should visit here. So I might share it with my friend. The motive behind me sharing this is I'm not aware of it. I genuinely believe that it is true. So I'm sharing a misinformation. Sometimes misinformation, when I share this kind of a message to my friend or my family, they wouldn't. This is not going to cause any harm. Okay, nobody's going to lose their life because of this. But sometimes misinformation can also have serious consequences, which I'll be telling you now. The next term is disinformation. It is information that is false, and the person who disseminates it knows it is false. It is a deliberate and intentional lie told to us. Now look at this. Did environmental activist Greta have food as poor children looked on? Is this true? It looks very genuine. It looks like it is true. But no. This is the original picture. So somebody who has created this picture has got the deliberate intention. Intentionally they are telling lies. They want to spread some kind of false image about the activist. So that's why this kind of image is created and sent. So this might have a political motive behind it, and this is to defame somebody. So disinformation can definitely has negative consequences like this. Whereas misinformation, and I wanted to play this video, but I think there's no time now. Probably if we have time, I can share this video, or I can share this video to the organizers also. You can watch later. So what's the cost of misinformation? Now when we share simple informations like that, some beautiful picture, that wouldn't be a problem. But it can have dangerous consequences, like the child kidnapping in India that happened in 2018. So after this, WhatsApp has regulated, WhatsApp and Facebook have regulated so many rules for forwarding an information. Previously, it was like even one message you can forward even 100, 1,000, any number of contacts in your phone book. But now the forward is restricted to 5 forwards maximum and 5 groups like that. And what actually happened? Now, when you see this video, the original video is actually now deleted from YouTube. The content is removed. But this was actually in 2017. The video shows 2 bike-borne men kidnapping a child in the video from Karachi. This video is actually not even from India. This is from Karachi, Pakistan. And this is by an NGO called Roshni. And they wanted to create an awareness about child kidnapping, and they say it's very easy. So these 2 men, they come in the bike, they grab the child and they go, and all the children run behind them, and they come back wondering what to do. So the video, which was shared viral in India, stops there. But the original video shows these 2 men coming back to the same place, leaving the child there, and showing this placard which says, "It takes only a moment to kidnap a child from the streets of Karachi. Keep your children safe." So this was the actual motive of sharing this video to everybody in Karachi. Now somebody has edited that video, and that video went viral here. Now if this comes to me as a mother, I may feel, oh, I have to inform my friends who have children to be very safe. I have to inform my nephew, I have to inform my niece, I have to inform everybody in family that they have to be safe with their kids. So when I keep forwarding this is what exactly happened in 2018. The video went viral and led to the lynching and deaths of many people in several states in India. The viral videos also led to the death of men. The victims were Nilokta Das and an audio engineer Abhijit Nath, were digital artists. Both were residents of Assam. The attack was, they were attacked when they stopped at a village to ask for directions. Residents believed that they are kidnappers, so the video went viral, and these people, they assumed that they are kidnappers. Okay, by the looks they thought, okay, these people are definitely kidnappers, they have to kill. Like, not only this, there were 20 mob lynching incidents. Okay, mob lynching. Such cruelty can happen. It's hard to believe that such things are happening even now when we have evolved as a civilized society. We still cannot claim to be so because of all these mob lynching and other dirty things happening in the world, especially in India. You know, mob lynching requires a lot of cruelty and hatred towards a person, and they blindly believe that this information was shared. I mean, these 2 are really kidnappers, and like this, People in South India believe the people from North India have come to kidnap their children here. People in South believe the opposite, people in North believe the opposite. So it's again creating more confusion in the society. And then there were transgenders, there were old women, there were young widow, everybody, all maybe around 24 victims of mob lynching we had because of this one viral WhatsApp video, which was first shared as a disinformation. Somebody has deliberately cut this and edited this video, and they have circulated this. And when it reached us, we might be unintentionally multiplied it to many people, and then this is the result. Now, another misinformation. It can also lead to, another impact of misinformation. Another example here. Mother and daughter duo locked themselves up in room for 3 years. Okay, they saw the news in television. The fear-mongering about pandemic and deaths related to COVID-19 can lead to extreme psychological impact. After hearing COVID deaths and fear-mongering news on TV, mother and daughter locked themselves up in room for 3 years, and this extreme fear led them to stay indoors for 3 years. So this can be another psychological impact of misinformation if we keep sharing. So how to address this misinformation? First, media literacy is the key. You have to be educated, you have to be aware that this is misinformation, this is fake news, and you have to have. Second step is how will you have media literacy? Only by developing critical thinking skills. Only if you know how to think critically. Third, you have to learn fact-checking skills. Now, fact-checking skills is that comes tertiary. Okay, not everybody will be equipped with Google input tools, and not everybody we meet on the streets will stop by to say, okay, let me fact-check this, let me go do a Google reverse image search. No. But what all of us can have is media literacy and developing critical thinking. Those two are very, very easy. What is media literacy? Media literacy builds an understanding of the role of media in society, as well as essential skills to inquire and self-expression necessary for citizens of a democracy. This is media literacy. This video, maybe later on we can. How do you develop critical thinking? Now, we as people, we process information differently, but we also have the herd mentality. What is herd mentality? When you see on the street, if you see people pointing to something and run, our natural instinct is to run as well. This is called herd mentality. Fitting in or being with the majority, that is called herd mentality. Everybody believes it. I don't believe it, but everybody believes, so maybe that is the truth. So let me also join them so that I am not left out. Historically, this natural response has helped us avoid many predators. Why do we have this herd mentality? It is not something, it's not a statement to criticize, or it is not a sarcastic comment to say, oh, human beings are like this. No. This actually saved us once from our predators. We moved in herds. When somebody sensed danger, maybe some wild animal is coming to attack us, maybe another enemy tribe is coming to attack. So people, when they lived with Neanderthals, when they lived, maybe what happened? When they moved in herds, so this herd mentality was a natural response for them to avoid predators, and they felt very safe moving with the crowd. But in today's social media world, it makes us vulnerable. How does it make vulnerable? You tend to believe a post that has most engagements and shared by many people many times. Do you stop to think whether it is true? We generally don't stop to think it is true because we are so carried with so many bias in our mind, which we'll be learning now. And that, so when you come across a message, we tend to think that whatever others share, or maybe what a popular person says, what a celebrity says is right, or maybe what someone who has just a name doctor in front. No, I'm a doctor, and there are so many academic doctors here. So it doesn't mean I can give my comment about rocket science tomorrow, or I can say something about diet, or I can prescribe medicine for somebody. I am a specialist only in this particular field. And in this also, I cannot call myself a specialized person in all media related fields. I can just say, okay, media literacy is my specialization, and even in this, we have a lot to learn. So, generally what people do, they just see the word, people who are popular, people who are celebrities, we just go by the word, and because they have, that's why we have this life coach, we have this parent coach, we have children coach, so many relationship coach, so many coach. I don't know how where all these coaches suddenly they popped up and how they were lying dormant all these years, and we did not actually require any such life coach and pregnancy coach and marriage coach and relationship coach for any relationships that we had in our lives, or no matter what, how did our grandmothers, how did they give birth, and how did we are healthy, okay, so there's nothing wrong, we don't need a coach, but all this Instagram and all these influencers, this culture has given rise to that again. We tend to believe blindly what those influencers say. Just blindly believe you have to do this, you have to do that, and that's a herd mentality again, which we are generally just like that blindly following without stopping to think whether what they say is true. So what is critical thinking? Critical thinking is to form informed judgment based on facts and reasoning, to analyze information from different perspectives objectively, to evaluate information critically, and to make evidence-based decisions, to become responsible citizens, and to decide what to believe and do. So in short, critical thinking will tell you, when you receive an information, you have to use your judgment based on facts, but not on bias. When somebody tells you tomorrow is a holiday, how will you believe that information? You have to, of course it gives a lot of joy and happiness to say, wow, tomorrow is a holiday. But why should tomorrow be a holiday? You must first have critical thinking. Had a list of 300 or 400, I don't remember actually. Had a list of 300 or 400, I don't remember actually. If I'm right, it should be more than 200. So, all these had phone numbers of doctors, it had phone numbers of oxygen suppliers and medicine suppliers. I think you remember during the pandemic we were all suffering for oxygen, for medicine and for doctors. And this list had a list of doctors, and it asked us to call these numbers if we are having an emergency. So I personally, when I kept receiving this information, this is WhatsApp, I thought, okay, let me try to check whether it is true, because it just kept on popping up in my WhatsApp. So I called all the numbers, all the 2200, or I don't even remember. I think during the pandemic I remember making more than 500 phone calls just to verify. So to my surprise, none of the numbers were even functioning. All were either wrong numbers or all were either numbers that were not in use. So I was wondering who will even do this when during a time of pandemic. It is such a critical time for all of us, when all of us is suffering for medicine and so many things. Who will even try to think of sharing such an information, and who has the time to compose all the numbers of all these useless numbers, say, with the names of doctors? It had a doctor's name in front, doctor's name, phone number, and area where you can find that person. So who has deliberately created this? That again leads to we have to. Okay, that's for another session. If I talk, I will be missing out the major portion that I want to complete. But again, see, understand, such things are possible. Human beings can be incredibly insane sometimes and do things like this. Once I remember a boy was almost crying. He said, I called him to verify, is this a number, are you supplying oxygen, is there any bed available? Because I found your number in a poster. And he said, I don't know who shared my number. From morning I have answered more than 800 calls and my throat is paining. This is wrong number, I don't even know who gave this number. So this can happen, definitely. Maybe in other parts of the world too, I'm not sure. But this is an example which I have seen and I have witnessed, and so I want to share with you. Please always use your critical thinking, call, verify, and then if you find out it is wrong, you have to immediately stop that number from being shared to others. Immediately tell your friends not to use this number. So that's what we did. So we created a Facebook page, and we also created we also tweeted all these numbers saying it is fake. I sent all the groups saying this number is fake, none of them is in existence, so stop calling these numbers and stop wasting time on this. So take actions like this. Now, why is critical thinking very important? This is a very interesting exercise. I will give you 1 minute, okay? I'm not even 1 minute, maybe to avoid, we can just, to stop wasting time, we can just stop at 30 seconds. Count the number of F in the box. All you have to do is that. Start. And you tell me, after they get some numbers, we will proceed to the next slide. Done?
Yes, ma'am. 6 of them.
6. Okay, very good. There are 6 F's in this. Now, when I shared this to other colleges and when I was conducting my sessions, when I attended this as a trainee, we found 4, 3, 2, and some had 7, some had 8. Okay? So, why this example is for us to understand that information is not processed by everybody in the same way. Okay? People process information differently. We strive to please others to fit in and feel acceptable, or we just want to please everyone. This human tendency will make us vulnerable, which also leads to the conclusion, please all and you will please none. Now let me tell you this with a story. This maybe you would have learned previously, before you must have come across this in Instagram or any social media, but this is really an interesting story. The story of a father and a son and their donkey. In the first scenario, the son is riding the donkey and father is walking. And people say, shameless son riding donkey when father is walking. Young people these days have no respect for their elders. Yes, that can happen. The second scenario, father is riding the donkey when the son is now walking. And people say, shame on the cruel father to let this poor little son trudge along. Okay? So now they say, they blame the father. This can also happen, right? Now, both of them, they got confused and they decided to ride the donkey together. And the people started saying, both of them are riding the donkey. Aren't you ashamed of yourself for overloading that poor donkey? So they got very confused and their father and son decided to walk along with the donkey. Now people started saying, both are confused and how stupid you have a mule, yet both of you are walking. Okay? So all these 4 scenarios are possible. People will keep judging you. People will have many things to tell about us. We can never be pleasing to everyone. We can never be a people pleaser. It is not advisable to be a people pleaser. Okay? So what do you infer from this? People will have different perceptions and people will keep judging you, but you have to decide, you have to use your critical thinking to decide what is the right thing to do and then proceed further. So, the difference between bias and independent thinking. Bias is a tendency, as we all know, you have to be aware of your bias when you are making decisions, vital decisions in life. You might have personal bias, and to have bias, it is human. None of us is free from bias. For example, we can hold our own opinion. Maybe if you say, for me, I might have a personal bias saying women are always more powerful. Women can be, women are better leaders. I can say women make better CEOs, or they are good managers. Women teachers are better. All these bias I can have towards women. And sometimes some might have living life in a rural village is better than living life in the city. Some might think an individual bungalow is very good than living in a small crowded place. So like this, you might have bias, you might have your own preferences, but that can help you shape your difference in experiences, beliefs and values. But this bias should not affect your way of judging a news when it comes, when it carries some kind of misinformation. So human brain has the tendency to categorize people, information and things based on the past experience. This is why bias exists. Okay, based on your experience, maybe you feel that You eat something, you eat a vegetable, you don't like the way it was cooked that way that day, so you stop eating it completely altogether. So you give up saying, this is not nice, oh, this is always not good, this is not cooked properly. That's how I gave up eating mushroom. Once I ate a mushroom, I didn't like it, and somebody told me mushrooms can be poisonous, and I think I heard this information when I was in class 3, and from then I stopped eating mushroom. Even till now, I don't eat. I don't know how to overcome that bias also. So this is how human brain has a tendency to categorize information and things based on the past. Human brain will, why do we think like this? In my example, my case, why do I think like that? Because human brain will try to avoid things that can cause anxiety, fear and stress and pain. Human brain cares more about harmony than truth. Ignorance and resistance to new perspectives will strengthen human biases. So, we want to be very safe thinking, this is poisonous to eat. I will not even think more about it. I will be resistant to any new information that comes which says it is good for health. No, I will be biased towards that particular food. So human brain, why does it think like this? Because it does not care about what is truth and what is fake. Human brain only cares about peace. All it wants is peace. It cannot take anything that causes anxiety, fear, stress and pain. That creates disharmony. So, the truth can always create a disharmony inside us. So truth, that's why we say truth is bitter, truth is hard to handle. And human brain also knows that. It says it knows truth is hard to handle. That's why it wants to be ignorant of the truth. It is, you say ignorance is bliss. All that is okay, but only when, only during certain cases, not always. So what is the most persuasive bias that we carry? That is confirmation bias. This, all of us, by default, we all have this. What is confirmation bias? It is favoring of information that confirms our existing beliefs. Okay? So, like for example, women have to be married. Women cannot lead a life that is single. This is a confirmation bias. When men or women should be married before they are 30. This was when we were young. Now it is changing, slowly changing. But this confirmation bias was present among our ancestors, and that is past age. Every generation it is passed, and we tend to believe that. So it is based on preconceived notions, age-old thoughts and practices, which gets pushed down the edges, and emotionally charged issues, and deeply entrenched political and religious beliefs. You go to a religious place on a particular day, on a particular thing. So all these deeply entrenched political beliefs and religious beliefs, which I don't say is not always false, but based on that, the confirmation bias can occur. Like say for example, we sometimes receive information, we receive WhatsApp messages saying, I don't know whether it is still present because I don't see that nowadays. But earlier we used to get messages like, share this to 10 people and you will receive happy news today. Share this to 5 of your contacts. The 6th contact will bring you a good news. All these kind of religious beliefs, no? When you're so deeply involved in a particular religion or a particular God, then you tend to believe all this. You say, oh, it should be right. Once or twice it must have happened by chance. Then you start to believe, yes, it happens. So that's your confirmation bias. So, how to overcome this confirmation bias? You have to be aware of filter bubbles. We all know the term filter bubble. It is how social media caters to our personal taste, and that's a dangerous consequence also. We get trapped in a situation called a filter bubble, where we perceive to receive same information from different sources. So if I say, if I'm a vegetarian and I just Google about all vegetarian foods and harmful effects of non-vegetarian food, I type something like this in Google, I will keep getting all the harmful effects of eating knowledge. You get cancer, you get this, you get that, all these health-related misinformation, disinformation, and all sorts of opinion. Every piece of information about it, which is negative about the food that I don't like, will come to my feed. And when I keep seeing the same thing again and again, and I keep sharing it to my contacts as well, and few of my contacts who share the same belief as me, they start to like that image and they start to share. So what happens? I'm creating a bubble. I'm sitting inside a bubble like a frog in the well. and that says, and that thinks this is that's the whole world. Okay, so we don't get exposed to the information that would challenge or broaden our worldview. So here is an example. This is how exactly it works. This is my feed, and this will be your feed. This will be news I like, videos I like, opinions of people I like, and the brands I like. Only that will be in my feed, which is my filter bubble. Whereas your feed, which has a different taste, which has a different news preference, and which has a different brand opinion, all that will be, which is opposite to my view, will not even reflect into my social media pages, because it confirms the existing bias by echoing the same thing. It comes as an echo. All my friends also who have the same beliefs, it comes. So how do you stop this? How do you stop this echo chambers? How do you stop this filter bubble? What do? You have to deliberately look for the comment section. Look for the comment section which says the opposite of it. Sometimes people might have fact checked it and said, no, this is wrong, don't believe this. Or sometimes people might have a opinion which is directly against yours, but still it is the truth. So search for those information, click on the profile, search for more information, and then this is how you will cheat your echo chambers and social media's confirmation bias and filter bubbles. And then you get reliable information. You get information from multiple sources. Fact checking, media literacy, all this can happen only if you get information from multiple sources, and those multiple sources should not say the same thing. You should get variety of information, variety of opinion for you to think and form your own judgment, not based on what the other person says. So if you have these echo chambers and filter bubbles, does it lead to poor decision making? Yes, definitely it can lead to poor decision making. So you have to test yourself for hidden biases. What are the biases and stereotypes that you carry within you? Now, what made you share this? During COVID time, this post claiming consumption of broiler chicken is causing the spread of coronavirus. Is it true or false? Now you see here, we have this is a forward message, okay? You can see the forward sign here. This is from WhatsApp. So we can see that this is a forward message, and this was widely shared during COVID time. So we share this because we have an assumption that non-veg food is harmful to the health. So so you have to always think, do you believe what you see, or do you see what you believe? Now this is a funny text which says Abraham Lincoln said, don't believe everything you read on the internet, because it has a picture with a quote on it. Abraham Lincoln did not say this because we know that there was no internet at that time. So how do you exercise critical thinking? You have to pay attention and observe. Observation is the gateway. And when you get a message, what you do? You have to open the message, see, read and verify the message before sharing. And how do you verify the message? Once you receive the information, you ask yourself, who's behind the information? What's the evidence? And what do other sources say about this information? And who do you trust? Who do you call as the source? Who do you call as a trustworthy source? Consider the source where you get the information. Verification of the source. Check other sources to understand what they say, and access the supporting evidence to ensure they support the claims, and check the date of publication to see if the story is relevant and up to date, and ask experts to get confirmation of the information. So what is source? It can be anybody who gives you the information. It can be all of this. It can be opinions, facts, misinformation. All of this put together can come from a source as well. And you have to check the reliability of the source, who's behind the information, what's the evidence, and what other people say. So there is a very easy term to remember, a nice source. What is a nice source? Whether the information, the source, knowledgeable in the subject, whether the source is named, or is it some XYZ who is giving the information, and whether the source is free of bias, is it having any political or monetary benefits by giving this false statement? Is the source having what's the backup of the source claim? And what are the documents? What do other sources say? Is this corroborated? Then, what is the evidence? Does this person state facts or opinions in the statement verified, or is it at least verifiable? So this is how you verify a nice source. Okay, so these are examples of how you see a picture of a cow chewing on a BMW. This is the original picture. This is how during COVID time the picture was shared saying all the world leaders are waiting for our Prime Minister's opinion. But whereas the original photograph was taken at the G20 summit and Germany in 2017. So this is how manipulation can be done. So the easy thing is to Google it. First, all that it takes is to Google for the truth. And do some text search, just click for the authentic source. Google will have many list of information, list of sources in the page. Click on only the authentic source. And the second thing is to Google reverse image search. When you go to Google and you do images, click images, you click on the camera icon here and you paste the URL, or you can also upload the image from your computer. In phone, you can also use it using the Google Lens. And
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but due to some unforeseen circumstances and the inability to continue our session for such a short period, I'm extremely sorry, but we might have to cut short your session. We are extremely grateful to have you share such valuable insights, and whatever questions our students are having, we'll make sure to email them to you so that we can get a better understanding.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yes, ma'am. I'm extremely sorry to cut you short.
No problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely fine, I understand.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Natarajan, for sharing such valuable insights. In a world of overflowing information, your guidance on navigating it responsibly is truly invaluable. Your expertise has not only deepened our understanding, but has also inspired us to approach information with a greater awareness. We appreciate your time, knowledge, and dedication to this crucial field, and we are grateful for this opportunity to learn from you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am.